One Nation will not be supporting this motion to suspend standing orders. The real question is something that lies beneath this suspension order request, and that is, are the Greens patsies and fools, or are they complicit in fraud? Now, they're claiming an escalating climate emergency, a climate breakdown. Here we go again. No data to back it up. We know that the Greens have never provided any empirical scientific evidence or logical scientific points to back up their assertion of an escalating climate emergency. Senator Waters, I challenged Senator Waters to a debate in public in 2010. 13 years ago, and she still will not debate me. She jumped to her feet and said, "I will not debate you." I challenged her again, almost daily and weekly, since the 9th of September. Now we hear calls of, "Leave me alone! I haven't got the data." No. So there is no evidence that these Greens have that back up their claim. Look at the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports. The first, in 1990, was built on a fraud, but even that showed that the medieval warming period was warmer than today's temperatures. Warmer than today's temperatures. That was quickly whipped out of the United Nations' next report in 1995, which the scientists gathered under the UN banner said there was no evidence of warming due to human production of carbon dioxide. Yet Ben Santer, one of the scientists, went in and changed that report and presented it in 1995, based on a fraud. In 2001, 2007, 2013, 2020, there were reports by the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Let's look at Chapter 12. In each of those reports, there was only one sole chapter claiming warming and attributing it to carbon dioxide from human activity. In 2001, it was Chapter 12. 2007, it was Chapter 9. 2013, Chapter 10. Not one of those reports, sole chapters claiming warming and attributing it to human carbon dioxide, contains any evidence for that claim.
Senator
Not one.
Wilson,
Same in 2020.
you have a point of order?
Order, President. I can put up with a lot in this chamber, but having Senator Roberts directly yell at me from 5 feet away is very difficult to take. Could you ask him to address the chair as he should, according to parliamentary rule?
He was going through me, but it's a lesson to us all to speak through the chair.
We always see that when someone has no evidence, they rely upon slurs and innuendos and misrepresentations. Thank you for not being able to challenge my argument. Now let's have a look at the basis of these United Nations reports. Maurice Strong was a crook. He died in 2015 after returning from exile, self-imposed exile in China. Maurice Strong started the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change as a political tool to get his way for his objectives globally. Maurice Strong started the Chicago Climate Exchange. He was a director of the Chicago Climate Exchange. He sought to make billions of dollars of profits from the Chicago Climate Exchange. He was then pursued for the oil for food scandal in the United Nations, complicit. Another scandal in the United Nations. He was also wanted by the American law enforcement agencies for crimes and serious crimes in the United States, including one very big crime in the Western United States. He fled in exile. He's a crook. He's a crook. And that's what the Greens are basing their policies on. That's what the Labor Party is basing its policies on. And that's what the Liberal Nationals, with a few exceptions, I note Senator Rennick, with a few exceptions, are basing their policies on. The basis of these policies destroying everyday Australians' lives, economically, socially, mentally, morally, is based upon a crook. And you've fallen for it. And what's more, you're now getting the people of Australia to pay for it. That is inhuman, it's irresponsible, it's dishonest. Are the Greens guilty of fraud, or are they simply patsies, fools? I note that China produces 4.5 billion tonnes of coal and gets more of our coal, while we're not allowed to use our 500 million tonnes that we produce in this country. They produce 9 times as much, and yet they have got no agreement with the 2050 net zero. This is a fraud, and this is why we will not support this suspension.